Welcome back, wrestling fans. Today we're talking recruiting, and we've got an assistant coach for one of the top class of 2024 recruiting teams, Rutgers. We have Steve Mytych. Thanks for joining us. I know that you're very busy today. You got a lot going on, outside of Rutgers and coaching.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. Just finished up a workout with the Pennsylvania 14U national team. Submitted that roster, so getting those guys locked in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They compete, so excited for those guys.
Nice. So, just looking at your recruiting class you have signed and coming in for 2024, we'll talk specifics later, but just in general, I know everybody's got different backgrounds, different styles, different personalities, but what's kind of a common theme between all of these guys?
Yeah, I think we kind of shifted a little bit. We want guys who are always on the attack, and a couple of guys that are kind of mat rats too, right? So the ability to ride somebody is you can win big matches like that, right? So Dylan Shawver, round of 12, rode the guy out to win in that third period for a 2-minute ride. Huge. I think he was the second guy he rode out all year long, but he did it when he had to, and kind of got the biggest win of his career with that ability to ride. Something we've been focusing on in the room throughout the summer, also just really focusing on that top position. So a lot of these guys can do that. So we're super excited about it.
All right, and I don't know. Everybody kind of associates Rutgers, New Jersey, and there's obviously a very heavy New Jersey flavor in the lineup and the recruiting class. But at the same time, in recent years, in this class is no different. We're seeing Pennsylvania guys, California, even Massachusetts here. And I know your background, District 11, Northampton, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
So is that a conscious decision, casting that bigger net, or just something that's kind of happened?
Yeah, I think when we sit down as a staff, right, for us to jump to that next level, to be a consistent top 5 team, win a trophy at the NCAAs, we need to do a good job of recruiting nationally. So not just one state, whether it's PA or New Jersey, because it's obviously close to the college. Right now, we're getting into California. We're in the New England area with Nate Blanchett. Obviously, that District 11 tie is coming in handy right now. So, I'll never say no, to a top level District 11 guy. But Connor Herron, Central PA also. So we're in the mix right now with a lot of those top level guys, and some of the guys that committed to say Penn State, Iowa, and Michigan. They were on campus for visits, so we're attacking those guys, and maybe we lost out on them for different reasons, whether it's NIL or things like that. But we're constantly in the mix for those guys, and I think going forward we're gonna be pulling a lot of those top level guys in the Rutgers once we see this class really excel, and the guys we have currently on the team. We have a very strong lineup coming back. We don't lose anybody. I believe we only lost Mitch Moore. So it's going to be a fun year, and these young guys coming in are hungry, and I believe that they can win right out of the gate too. So it's going to be interesting to see how the year progresses.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to get into because you guys can roll out a lineup, I think, that has 4 past All-Americans in it. And usually when a team has a big recruiting class, sometimes it's because they really need it, and they really need it right away. And
Right.
you're putting 3 and 4 true freshmen into the lineup because you have to have it. And as you mentioned, that isn't necessarily the case. Obviously, if 1 or 2 of these guys proves they're ready, you can put them in there, but they also have the time to develop. So, that's a really good situation everybody's coming into.
Yeah, absolutely. I think too that one of the best rules that the NCAA and the coaches panel came up with was that 5 competitions for the true freshmen. I think it gives everybody a fair chance, in the fact that you can kind of see if they're ready for that next level and kind of give them that opportunity to, hey, if a guy gets dinged up, an older guy gets dinged up in the lineup, hey, we have a supplement for that, right? So in the past, you'd be digging deep into the depth chart. Guys would be bumping up weight classes. And I just don't think it was real, say, healthy for the sport, right? Especially when you have super high level young guys that are ready to step in and they're hungry and they want to compete. Why not give them the opportunity to do that? So I think that's something that the NCAA really figured out, and I think it's helping the dual meets, right? It's helping the dual meets, keeping them super competitive all the way through. So yeah, that was definitely a positive rule change.
So I think I was on campus. I think it was the fall of 2022, and talked to you and the rest of the staff. And I know I was talking to Coach Pollard, and we were just kind of informally talking about recruiting. And he mentioned this class of 24. It's going to be a huge one for us.
Yeah.
And so how far out did you guys know that this was going to be a special one? This was going to be big for you.
Yeah, I think. Like I said, we really talk as a staff. Our communication is awesome. It's the best I've ever had as a coach. And I think once we really sat down at the conference table and really laid out which guys were going to attack which weight classes, it really just started to build and build and build. And then the late additions of Aiden Smith and Mason Gibson really kind of helped us solidify those lower weights too. So it kind of grew into it. It started out, really positive. Nini, he's been coming to Rutgers and the Scarlet Knights Wrestling Club since he was a little kid. So we kind of knew we were going to get him, but you never know in this day and age, right? So everyone does their visits and things like that. But, I'm pretty sure he was the first one. I think it was Nini was the first one to really jump on board. And then the ball just kind of started rolling. Then we got Blanchett, then we got Hare, then, like I said, the late additions of Smith and Gibson. So, yeah, it's been great. I think, like I said, I think that communication piece is really kind of what upped that recruiting class to a potential, top 5, top 3 team.
So looking up and down this recruiting class, what I notice, and I don't know if this is a thing on your end, but I'm seeing these guys from power programs, Notre Dame and McCourt and Bergen Catholic, Christian Brothers, Palm Desert, California. These are ones, at least on my end, it seems like they've had good coaching coming into college, and then these are also places that you can go next year and the year after and the year after, as you're
right.
recruiting. Is that something that obviously that's not the first thing that you're thinking of, but I'm sure that is something you're thinking of.
Yeah, I think the one thing about those power programs is that they wrestle a national top level schedule through high school. So a lot of, teams, some of the kids only get competitive matches kind of near the end of the year once you hit, states or, regionals, so having those kids at the Ironman, at the Powerade, at the one in Cali, that's slipping my mind right now. It's a really tough one, but
Doc B.
But yeah, what's that? Doc B. That's it. There you go. So they're trained, and their competition schedule is you can never, copy the Big Ten schedule per se, because it's brutal and it's one after another. But at least they're wrestling a very competitive schedule all year long.
All right, and so maybe in the early part of Coach Goodale's tenure at Rutgers, he was probably having to sell everybody on the vision as you're recruiting. And then you get an All-American, you get a Big Ten champion, you get a national champion. And now Rutgers is in the position where it's not a surprise or even a big deal necessarily that you're having multiple All-Americans per year. It's kind of more of a surprise if you're not. So
Right.
does that make it easier on your end when you're not having to sell a vision of, come on, we can get you on the podium, you can be the first guy. Now it's like you can be the missing piece to put us into the top five and get a trophy, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think we're in the position where, and I say this all the time, why do you want to join them? Let's beat them, right? So obviously those top three programs, top four programs, we want to beat those guys, right? So I think a lot of the kids in this class, they want that, right? They want to be the guys that take down the giant, or take down the prestigious program that people have been talking about, since you were a little kid. So I like these guys' mindset. They have a different mentality than a lot of kids I've been around. They want to wrestle the best. They want to take down that giant. So I think that is a big piece to it. I also think our facility is the best in the country. It's brand new. It's got everything you want and need. We have a personal chef that makes us a meal after every workout. The recovery center is unbelievable. Our staff and support staff, so nutritionist, academic advisor, and our director of ops, obviously all the coaches, we are in the same office. So you can't get out of the building without running into the nutritionist or running into the academic advisor. So it's almost impossible to fail. Our team GPA for this last marking period was a 3.25. So we've really attacked the classroom, and obviously on the mat we're doing well. And Coach Pollard talks about this all the time. Is the way you are with school is the way you are with wrestling, right? So if you're lacking in the classroom, maybe you're not totally locked in on what you need to be doing to be a better wrestler, right? Because you're worried about I'm missing assignments. If you have everything taken care of on both ends, academically, athletically, and socially, then you can kind of move forward and grow. So with that being said, I think, like I said, this group of guys coming in they're just a little different than everybody else. So
All right. And speaking of this group coming in, we're going to play a little bit of a word association game. So I'm going to name each of these recruits, and I just want you to say, a couple words, not much, because I know there's a lot of them, but
yeah,
just a little bit about each guy. So we'll start smallest and go to biggest, and start with Aiden Smith.
speed.
All right. Kurt Winter.
Legger. He can ride. He can ride.
Mason Gibson.
Mighty Mouse. He can
Alex
jump
Ninney.
over you. He can shoot. He can scramble. And he jumped over that kid in the, I call it the Dapper Dan. I'll always call it the Dapper Dan.
Yeah,
But he jumped over that guy to win. It was pretty cool.
that's right. That's right. I like that. I'll go to Alex Ninney.
Team Italia. He's actually training with Sebastian for the Olympics right now, getting Seb ready, and he's actually really jumping levels right now. Excited about Alex.
Nice. Andrew Barbosa.
Ooh, Andrew Barbosa. He's another guy with speed and super athletic. Super athletic.
All right. Donovan DiStefano.
The Jackhammer.
All right. That's self-explanatory. Ryan Ford.
Ryan Ford. Crafty. Very crafty. Good wrestler. He's jumping levels right now too in our RTC practice. He's tough.
All right. Connor Hare.
Total package. Total package. He can wrestle all three positions really well and scramble. He's good.
Nate Blanchett.
Ooh, Blanchett. Jacked. He's jacked up. We'll see what weight class he goes. 165, 174. I think he's a tweener right now. I think you might see him down at 165. But yeah, he's tough. He's really tough.
All right. Last but not least, Brandon Torzano.
The gorilla. He's jacked up. He's jacked up. Excited about him. He's in our room. He's going to jump levels, and he's going to have good workout partners of Yara, who's back for his final year, and Big Johnny O, and this guy Sarmat that comes in and trains with us. He's very talented. So yeah.
Nice. Well, I like the way that worked out. So,
Yeah.
kind of wrapping up, we're only a couple days away from class of 2026. I know you've already got some good guys in the fold for 25. We can't talk about yet, but
Yep.
have you guys already had? You mentioned the conference room and your targets, and where are you guys at as far as the 26 guys go? And is that like almost a Christmas for you? Like you
Oh
can't
yeah.
wait to get your hands on the new crop of recruits.
Yeah, we actually have our list. I have it right here. I'm not going to put it up because nobody needs to see that. But yeah, we already have our targets. We break it up between the four of us. We kind of know which region, I guess you can say, that we'll be calling in. But yeah, super excited to attack that. Waiting to see how this revenue sharing with the Power Five schools kind of works out. Who's going to get what? Who's going to get more scholarships, maybe more money, maybe it stays the same. So there's a lot of undetermined, I guess you could say, situations to kind of see how it all plays out right now. Kind of a crazy time in NCAA athletics, but yeah, we're excited to attack those guys. And like you said, 2025 is really starting off on a good foot. Some talented kids. And then 2026 starting June 15th, we'll be calling those guys. So super pumped. Like I said, our staff is excited. We are really, really attacking these guys in the summer session. So I'm excited to see how the season plays out for sure.
Excellent. Well, that's all that I have for you. Is there anything else that you want people to know about Rutgers, recruiting class, anything in general?
Yeah, I mean, I would just throw out there, Rutgers is obviously on the up and up right now. I kind of feel like it's a sleeping giant, and over the next, 1 to 5 years, I think we're really going to take off. And like I said, we're going to be recruiting nationally, not just, in the state of Jersey or in the state of PA. So we're going to be going after the best guys, and we really want to take this thing next level, be in that top 5 and in attempting to win a trophy at NCAAs every year. So we're serious about this, and I'm very excited for our team and our staff and the university. So
All right. Well, thank you very much, Steve Mytych, and we will pay attention for those recruiting rankings to come out later this week.
appreciate it. Thanks for having me.